Hey guys, what is up? My name is Griefdrums, and today we are going to be taking a look at Operation Dustline, the ins and outs of it, and we're going to take a look at everything that has changed. Now, I know most people are just going to start by saying, hang on a minute, Dustline's been out for ages. Other YouTubers have already done a video about this. Yes, they have. However, I didn't want to rush this. There have been so many changes to the game, I didn't want to just throw a video out with half-assed information. I wanted to really take a look at everything that has changed and see what I really felt about it. See if there's anything that is majorly different. See if the lighting changes have actually made any difference. Stuff like that. So I've delayed it a little bit. It is a little late. I know that. However, let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at today is the map itself, Border. When I first saw it, I thought it looked incredible. I was worried at first that it looked slightly too big, but after playing it, it's not that bad. It's a lot smaller than I was expecting it, but that is not a complaint by any stretch of the imagination. There are several wide open spaces, but this is more akin to maps like House, if I'm honest. The destruction, as the developers said, is huge. I mean, as far as the destruction goes, the majority of walls are destructible, and even if you reinforce that wall, above it, there's probably an opening in which grenades and flashbangs and all sorts of other stuff can come flying through. Even after you've fully reinforced the room that you're in, there are so many little windows and entry points that you can't cover everything. It's a nightmare for defenders, but it's awesome at the same time. As with Yacht, the map will take a bit of getting used to, probably 10 to 15 games until you fully know your way around, but just stick with it and you'll be there in no time. The next big thing is the introduction of two new operators, as we know, Valkyrie and Blackbeard. Now, from the second I saw these characters leaked, I was buzzing for them. I couldn't have been more excited, especially not for Valkyrie. My biggest worry was that Blackbeard was going to be too overpowered. However, it doesn't seem like he is. That might just be people using him in an incorrect way. They're just running around and using him as a point man. When he's used at windows, he can be ridiculously powerful. He can have a good old stare through, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. There's been several occasions in which I've sort of peeked a corner, attempted to land a headshot, and if it was any other character facing me, they would be dead. But because it's Blackbeard, and his shield is see-through, you can't really see it until it's too late, in which case he's ended you. After fighting against him for a couple of days now, I've managed to find that he's not that bad. Yes, you do have to be careful when you see him, and you have to use those flanking routes. If he's stuck at a window for long periods of time, you have to be prepared to jump out of the window next to him to shoot him. But this just adds a whole other dimension to the game. You couple this guy up behind a shield like Montagna or Blitz, and you will be a pretty formidable force to be reckoned with. As for Valkyrie, oh my god, I love Valkyrie. She is incredible for the defending team. All that extra information is insanely good. It's so helpful. The only concern at the minute is that because I don't know Border well enough and other people don't know Border well enough, you set all these cameras up and you can see people on them, but it forces you to tag them because otherwise the callouts that you're giving, people haven't got a clue what is going on. This isn't a negative at all. This is something that will sort itself out in the near future once more people have learnt the maps, but god is Valkyrie good. Her shotgun is a beast. There has been the addition of some Dustline weapon skins. If I'm honest, they're not really my cup of tea. However, they are pretty nice. The introduction of these skins has also dropped the price of some of the other weapon skins. The ones that were previously 12,000 are now roughly 5,000 renown. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. Customization has been the big thing on this update. Headgear, charms, all sorts of weird and wonderful things. I was really worried about this. I thought the headgear was going to be ridiculous, but I'll admit, I have been really drawn to some of the weird and wonderful ones like Doc's clown mask and stuff like that. Now, I know a lot of people out there are going to be saying, well, hang on, it's just like Call of Duty, it's going silly with daft weapon skins and face masks. And yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from, but the developers have used this really sparingly. It's a very clever addition to the game because it's not over the top. The weapon charms themselves, they're not massive, they're not in your face. You can put them on a gun and barely even notice them. None of this stuff has taken away from the tactical element in any way, shape or form. Instead, for me, it's given me something to aim towards. I managed to spend all of my renown that I had saved up, and now I have to play so many more games to build up that renown to buy new stuff that I want to get. This was the biggest problem for me previously. I had so much renown and nothing to spend it on. I'd already bought loads of weapon skins, loads of weapon attachments, and it was just pointless. But now I've actually got something to aim towards, whether it is that clown mask or the gas mask with crazy eyes. I want people to see that I've spent 30,000 renown on some crazy headgear. I want them to see that. That's where the winner's circle comes in, or the showcase. After I spoke a little bit about this previously, before Dustline came out, a lot of people down in the comments were being really negative towards it. And I can understand why. However, yet again, the devs have done an incredible job of introducing this. It's not over the top, it's not too much, it's not overly cheesy, there's no strange taunts or anything like that. Instead, it's just the characters, their equipable customizations, and the points that they've acquired. I kind of like this feature because if I do come first, I want people to know that it was me. It's nice to be able to see that you're top of the leaderboard every once in a while. The next huge feature to be introduced is the loadout customization between rounds. If you've got a red dot sight on your gun and you're playing a map with long, wide open corridors and you want to take an ACOG instead, you can now do that. You don't have to change characters. Instead, you can just customize your own character. Now, the length of time you've got to do this is short, and you do already have to own that item. You can't buy it in this screen, but if you already own it, you can quickly swap and change your character's loadout, sights, laser sights, grips, anything like that, headgear, charms. So this is a really welcome feature and one that I have been using a hell of a lot. As I discussed in my previous video, IQ, Montagna, and Tachanka have all been buffed. IQ's buff is amazing. She is so much more powerful and can be a real asset to the team. You can go to the room below, use her gadget and shoot up through the floor to take out mute charges, bandit batteries, Jaeger, trophy systems, you name it. You can take out everything and no one can even see you. At present, the only negative to IQ is that her gadget finds devices up to 20 meters. So you think you can shoot something, but it's actually through like 6 walls or something. So you've got to be careful of that. As for Montagna, not only was his shield extended to protect him more, he also gets points now for being hit in the shield. Now, I don't really use shield, guys. However, I've never noticed that this was the case. So I think it's a new addition. And it's a good addition because this actually rewards you for being a team player. Previously, if you were a shield guy and you went and stood in the doorway blocking it off so others can look around you, you got nothing for it. You'd appear at the bottom of the leaderboard. However, you're being a crucial member of the team, so you deserve to get rewarded for it. Now you do. Every round that you take, you get like 10 points, and it just slowly builds up, especially if someone's going full auto on you. For Tachanka, this buff, when I heard about it, I was adamant it wasn't going to make the blindest bit of difference. But I have seen more and more people using him, and I have seen more and more kills. A mate of mine nearly got an ace with Shankar on his machine gun, and I've cleaned up a few people with it, so it is definitely a step in the right direction. The devs have said that this is only the first step of Tachanka tweaks, and they will continue to monitor and improve him, so this is a really good and positive first step. His machine gun is now faster to place and easier to place. You can put it closer to walls, you can get on and off of it quicker, and as a result, if you see someone coming, you can jump on it and absolutely leather them with bullets. Just to quell some other rumours, Frost no longer has a nitro cell. Buck has now got grenades, reduced recoil, and his shotgun has lost some of the range on it. Thermite has lost his grenades and instead got stun grenades because he was seen to be too OP. Sledge has swapped breaching charges for stun grenades. Thatcher's EMPs have had a reduction. The FBI SWAT recruit shield has now got heavier armour. There have been loads of tweaks to characters, and in my opinion, all for the better. One of the biggest things that I'm taking away from this update is the combinations of operators. There are now so many combinations that you can take in the form of Montagna working with Blackbeard, Thermite and Thatcher working together. You've already taken up 4 members of your team, and there's so many more operators that you could choose. Instead of Thatcher, you could take IQ, so you take Thermite and IQ and you pair them up instead. Instead of Blackbeard and Montagna, you take Buck and Blitz. All these characters have been so well tweaked to work with another person. If Fuse is there, the defending team are obviously going to want a Jaeger. To counter that Jaeger, you then have to take a Thatcher or an IQ. It means that you're involved in so many mind games before the level even starts. You've got to think, okay, who are the defending team going to have? Who on our team are we going to take? And who needs to be a supporting role to that? It has brought such a good dynamic into this game, and it's one that I freaking love. Now, whilst a lot of people are going to argue that that was already in the game, yes, it was to some degree. However, 9 times out of 10, people wouldn't take half of these operators because they weren't powerful enough or they weren't effective enough. These are all now much more of a level playing field. If you took Thatcher over IQ previously, you were guaranteed to take out the majority of trophy systems in the room. But because his EMP radius has now been reduced, IQ might be more effective because she can see these items through the floor. So it adds that dynamic into the game. As far as sights go, the red dot and reflex have both had the dot and the triangle respectively made a lot smaller and a lot more accurate. This is a really nice change, and these sights are really effective. They're a lot more effective than they used to be, and a lot more people have started using them. As the red dot sight isn't as bulky around the outside as the holographic, having that pinpoint reticle really does help. Other gadget changes include things like the flash hider and the compensator adjustments. The flash hider, besides still partially hiding the flash, they've opted to reduce the time it takes for the weapon to center back, and the first shot recoil is also a lot better. The compensator has got a cap on the maximum recoil that the attachment allows for. That means that fully automatic is more potent. Stun grenades now explode a lot faster after contact. I think it's got about 1 second after hitting a surface. After you've thrown these in, you know that the majority of people in that room will not have had long enough to look away. Pump action shotguns have been made a lot more powerful in the sense that they've got a much better effective range for maximum damage. Now at this point, a lot of people are probably thinking, hang on a minute, this is loads of changes. It's like a different game. Yeah, it kind of is, but at the same time, it's like getting an improved, newer version of Rainbow Six, so I'm not complaining, because we're not even halfway done with the amount of fixes on this. So as a result, I'm going to end this video here, and I will be putting another video up in the next couple of days discussing the rest of the changes, the rest of the patch notes, and the rest of the update. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to slap that like button, and I'd love to hear what you think about this latest update. Do you think they've changed too much too quickly, or are you happy with the pace of this? What do you think of Blackbeard and Valkyrie? Do you think they're too overpowered, or do you think they're just right? If you don't already, make sure to subscribe, and until next time guys, stay reckless and relentless.